We're gonna make the most incredible chocolate brownie. Yes! Who doesn't love a beautiful, delicious chocolate brownie? I wanna show you a perfect one. No flavoring, no nuts, no fruit, just chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. It's gonna be crisp and it's gonna puff up and then it's gonna crack. It's gonna be gooey in the middle. It's gonna blow your mind. First up, chocolate. Come and have a little look at this. This is beautiful 70% cocoa solid chocolate. 70% means the amount of cocoa solids in the chocolate. It will taste a little bit bitter when you eat it like this, right? But when you mix it with butter and sugar and all the other ingredients, it's gonna be amazing. So 250 grams of chocolate goes in a bowl. I've got a pan simmering very gently. Put that over the top. Then I've got 250 grams of butter. Try and get the best one you can because the best butter, the best chocolate makes the best brownie. So if you're gonna make brownie, it's a wonderful treat, but if you're gonna do it properly. Do it really, really well. Dice up the butter and get it into the bowl. And just very gently, we wanna melt that down, gently, gently. Next up, the sugar and the eggs. 4 eggs into a bowl. Lovely free-range organic eggs is gonna give you a better product. 250 grams of golden caster sugar. And whisk up the eggs and the sugar until the sugar's fully dissolved. As you beat it, it goes pale, fluffy, and light, and that will be your texture. And it will also give you the crispiest little topping for your brownie. And if you want the recipe for this, just click the link, go over to jamieoliver.com. I've got this recipe and thousands of others. Go and fill your boots. And then it comes to the flour part. 2 heaped tablespoons of self-raising flour. By using the little sieve, you're allowing the flour to be as light and as delicate as it can be. 2 heaped tablespoons of quality cocoa powder. Use the whisk now, fold it, don't beat it. If I just sit there and beat it, then we lose all the air that we put into the eggs. The chocolate is almost done. And a lovely little tip, right? Just get a pinch of salt and season your chocolate. It sounds weird, but it makes all the difference. It opens up your taste buds. It allows you to taste the full flavor of the chocolate. And it genuinely really does make a difference. I got given that tip like 25 years ago from this incredible French chocolatier. And I've always done it since, and it works. And then we're gonna go in with every last bit of it. Look at that, look at the color, look at the shine. Back to the folding. Have a look at that. We've still got air in there. And of course, at this point, you can lick the whisk. It's filthy, but who wouldn't? I've got myself a lovely cake mold, and then we're gonna go in with that amazing brownie. Every last bit of it. Move it around, get it into the corners. And look at that, chocolate heaven. And I've put it into one of my tins here. If you want to check out my lovely range of bakeware, check it out. There's a whole bunch of different shapes and sizes, beautiful color. Now I'm going to put this in an oven on fan at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit, and close the door gently. And that's going to be amazing. It will take about half an hour to cook, but I will show you exactly what I'm looking for the perfect brownie, because it looks like you've got to slightly undercook it, but you've got to have the faith. Trust me. Look at that. That's just under 30 minutes. And you can see it's puffed up, right? It's gone really crisp on the outside. And if you just shake it, can you see that wobble, right? So I do want it cooked on the outside. I want it slightly under in the middle. And I just want to let that cool down for about 15 minutes before you even think about eating it. Hold yourself back. Don't go in. Let it cool down, and then you're gonna get more flavor and you're gonna get more texture. It's gonna be amazing. Let's get into there. Let's have a look at the texture. I love the way that when you cut through it, look, that's what you want. Ooziness. You can see that the top is almost sharding, it's cracking. Oh. Guys, come and see that. Yes. So this is what I want for you, right? It's really crisp and delicate and thin on the top. It's kind of spongy around the outside here, and then in the middle, it's oozy and gorgeous and unctuous and chocolatey, and the chocolate will taste different because of that cooking, right? So that is good, we like that. A nice little scoop of vanilla ice cream, some hazelnuts, chocolate, hazelnuts, vanilla ice cream. Come on, you know it makes sense. And then what we love to do in the restaurants is popcorn. Of course, that little bit of heat from the brownie is gonna start to melt the ice cream really, really nice. Right, enough talking. Let's get a nice small spoon and let's have a little try up. That is a very agreeable brownie. It's really good. Guys, go on. That's what you got to do this weekend or today. and enjoy. Take care. We're gonna make sticky toffee pudding. This lovely lady, my mother, she used to make this at least twice a month when I was a kid.
We loved it with lots of custard.
Custard, ice cream, or cream. Unbelievable. Dates are the central ingredient of a sticky toffee pudding. So if you want a great pud, you've got to have great dates. These medjool dates, they might just look like regular dates, but they're so meaty and sweet and delicious, and they have the most outrageous sort of caramelly flavour. Now, we had dates, obviously, when I was a kid.
Only at Christmas.
But they were a little bit drier, a bit more... like...
crusty.
Yeah, they weren't as lovely as that. Get the stone out and get the little cap bit at the top off. We don't want that. So Mum's going to motor through those. The stones need to be removed from 450 grams of dates. To soften them and give them an even better flavour, I'm going to soak them in tea. Mum, you probably won't be expecting this. Earl Grey tea bags.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Cover 4 tea bags with 300 millilitres of boiling water and leave to steep for 3.5 minutes. Add the de-stoned dates to a blender with a level teaspoon of cinnamon and half a grated nutmeg. Then pour the Earl Grey tea onto the dates and let them sit for 10 minutes with a lid on. So, Mum, creaming. You all right to do it?
Yeah, I'm good at creaming.
So we're going to go in with 170 grams of butter, and then I'm going to follow that with 170 grams of golden caster sugar. Really, really important, muscovado sugar. This is going to give it its fudgy, sticky toffee puddingness. So in with 170 grams of that. The point of creaming is that we're dissolving the sugar and we're beating air into it. And of course, the butter has got...
Can you do this in a machine?
You can do it in a machine. Your mummy is right. Mum used to do the best dinners. Pretty much every week she'd do a steamed pudding, syrup pudding, chocolate pudding, jam pudding, roly-poly. Quite old-fashioned British ones, really.
Yeah, well, you all used to like it, didn't you?
Yeah, it was lovely. So Mum's done the hard bit. Should we take over?
Yeah.
So look, we'll give this a good old beat up. Mum, if you can get around there and crack in 4 eggs, one at a time. Ooh. Once all 4 eggs are beaten in, gently fold 340 grams of self-raising flour into the mixture. Then blend the tea-soaked dates until smooth. Pour in the lovely date mixture. Thank you, Mum. There's something really special that happens between the dates and the spice and the sugar.
Lovely.
We're folding all that in. Oh, Mum, smell that.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Mum, that bundt tin over there, can you just grab a little bit of butter, put it on your hand, and just rub it all around that mould? It's a nice little technique if you're ever worried about a mould or a baking dish. Just rub it with oil or butter, and then we take some flour. Thank you, Mama. And then we'll just put in the flour and just shake it around, and the flour will stick to the butter. So that's what it looks like there. Double security. Pour the mixture into your mould.
Just turn it round.
Yeah, please. That's it. Thank you, Mum. I like to use a ring-shaped bundt tin for this pud, but doing it as a tray bake also works. Put it into the oven to bake for 45 to 50 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius and don't touch it. While that's cooking, I'm just going to knock up a quick sauce. So, Mum, in here, what we have is 250 grams of butter and 250 grams of sugar. And as you can see, I've got half golden sugar and half muscovado as well. So as soon as that sugar starts to dissolve, I'm going to add in some rum. Did you ever put rum in your sticky toffee pudding?
No, I didn't.
It's nice. I love rum. Do you like rum?
Yeah, I love anything.
Alcoholic?
Alcoholic. No.
She's not an alcoholic, don't worry. Add 50 ml of rum to your pan. To flambe it, carefully angle the pan towards the flame. Setting it alight will burn off the alcohol and enhance all the flavours of the sauce. Finally, add 300 ml of double cream. We'll give you the most incredible sticky toffee pudding sauce. And I'm just going to swill it about now. Look at the way it changes. And you get a lovely, shiny, caramelly sauce. Mum, try that. It's not too hot. I love it. The rum is brilliant.
Oh, wow, yeah, it is. That's really different.
When those little bubbles come up like that, then we switch the gas off. Have a look at that sticky toffee pudding, Mum. No, don't open the door.
Oh.
God.
Oh, no, I did, didn't I?
You did.
Oh, my God. It's all sunk. I got you.
Should we have a cup of tea?
Yeah.
The illustrious sticky toffee pudding. Beautiful sponge. Smells lovely. 1, 2, 3. Go on.
Oh, that's lovely. Look at the steam.
Now a trick that transforms the pudding, painting it.
Yeah, I'm going to grab this brush. As you put this incredible sauce on top, it kind of seals it and it stops it getting dry and it gets shinier and shinier and shinier, which is amazing.
The thin layer of sauce gives the pud a crispy toffee crust, which is delicious.
It's just a piece of art, that's the thing.
You can't have too much of that sauce, can you?
No.
Why don't you just put it in the middle?
Do you think I should?
It'd be lovely.
No, that's good.
That's what I would do.
Well, look, this whole dish is an evolution. Should we do it?
Yeah.
Because ultimately, the whole point of desserts is to lift the spirit. And what is going to lift the spirit more than just filling up a hole with caramel sauce?
I think that's really nice.
There is one last thing I'm going to do. We're just going to put a little salt on top. It's just that whole kind of thing about the palate just exploding, that salt and sweet.
I love salted caramel.
So there you go, Mama. The ultimate sticky toffee pudding. Can you grab me that chopper from over there? Let's have a little portion up. And as we take this, it's just gonna gush out. Ah. Go on. Okay.
This looks amazing. Oh.
Now can you tell why I brushed the outside? It's like crispy
yeah,
hard.
It's gorgeous.
You like?
Yeah, amazing.
Thanks, Mum. It's been nice cooking that with you.
No churn, strawberry ripple vanilla ice cream. Come on!
Okay, so here we've got some beautiful strawberries. They're really good right now. British strawberries, I am biased of course, but they are uniquely known for being utterly delicious. Why? Well, because they get ripe quite slowly, they develop more flavour and more sweetness. So, you know, you're going to find them more tasty, generally speaking, than some of the hotter climates. What I've done is I've got 600 grams of beautiful strawberries here. I've just hulled them, so just remove the little green top, and then what I've done is give them a little wash. I've got 100 grams of white simple sugar. So I'm going to put that into a pan and make a little bit of a caramel. So if you look in the pan here, it will pretty quickly start turning to caramel. Obviously, when you're making things like caramel, don't have kids running around the place. It's really hot. Don't put your finger in because it's way hotter than boiling water, right? And it will stick to you, right? So as delicious as it is, keep your fingers away. One other little thing you could do if you're feeling fruity, I'm not going to do it today because I want it to be a family-friendly affair, but a little swig of white wine or swig of Pimm's and strawberry at this time of year. Wimbledon is quite nice. So you can kind of theme flavours a little bit and have some fun. So with the strawberries, I just tend to cut them in half. By the way, you can use raspberry, you could use blackberry, mulberry, blueberry, cherries are very good, apricot's amazing, peach is amazing. So this technique that I'm giving you, you can use for many, many recipes. So it's a very quick, malleable, flexible recipe. So, have a little look. Good things are happening there, tigers. So you can see the pan getting hot. You can see we've achieved that little bit of colour. Now we'll carefully go in with the strawberries, like that. And we'll very quickly turn that into a simple sauce. So the heat of the pan and the caramel has created a lot of heat. So that's going to stew down the strawberries very quickly. So about 5 minutes on a high heat is really all you need. So this has had 5 minutes, it's stewed down beautifully, gas off, and I'm just going to put it through a coarse sieve, right? So not a fine sieve, a coarse sieve. And you're going to get just a really simple, really beautiful strawberry sauce. And the flavors will be amazing. So I have a little tip for a secret slap of flavor. And if you want to, just put a teaspoon of balsamic vinegar in these strawberries when they're simmering down. And I know it sounds weird, but balsamic vinegar and that acidity and sweetness work incredibly well to make the sauce even more delicious and bonkers. Once you've pushed the strawberries through the sieve, scrape it all off on the bottom, you've got a nice, thick, rich, perfect expression of seasonal strawberries. So it couldn't be simpler. Into a bowl, add 600 grams of double cream. Nice, organic double cream is what I would suggest, with a teaspoon of vanilla paste. Or you could use a vanilla pod if you wish. Just a little teaspoon. So we'll whisk that up, and it's going to thicken. So we want very soft peaks, which I'll show you what it looks like. Now, a lot of people, when they're whisking, get quite tired. So you can see my hand's doing this movement at the moment. And when it naturally gets tired, then I can change the angle and start doing it with the wrist. I can feel it getting thicker now. So look, that is soft peaks, right? It's doing that, beautiful. So into here, we're going from gorgeous cream to condensed milk, old school. So a tin of condensed milk, it reminds me of my nan. And it's got a natural sweetness because we've concentrated it down. And that sweetness is what kind of helps this no churn ice cream not go too icy. So it's a lovely cheat, and that condensed milk gives you this outrageously kind of dynamic twist on dairy. I absolutely love it. So I'm going to fold this up like that. Look at this. Fold it through. And then I've got some beautiful meringues here, 50 grams. You can get these in all the supermarkets. You can get them pre-made. By all means, make your own. I'm going to crush up one and put it through it. I might go now from whisk to a little spatula, and I'm going to fold it through like that, and then I'm going to go straight into this little dish. So you can go into any kind of nice dish that you'd be proud to serve it on in the middle of the table. I'm going to take a little bit of that lovely sauce and just steal some for a nice little strawberry sauce that I can pour over at the end. This part here, I'm just going to put most of it into the ice cream with other chunks of the meringue. Imagine that. Ripples of the ice cream with the vanilla. Just kind of move it. Can you see I'm just moving it around now, like this, doing that lovely ripple. And I don't want to kind of mix it up properly, right? So that, for me, is looking pretty exciting. I'm going to put that last bit of sauce on the top. Oh, it smells amazing. Look at that, just beautiful. So, put this in the freezer now for about 4 hours until it's nice and firm. But you can keep it in the freezer for like 6 weeks, 2 months. But then when you want it, put it in the fridge. This has been in the fridge for about 45 minutes. This is one I made earlier. So by letting it defrost in the fridge, it's nice and even. It's a nice texture, it's very scoopable. If you just bring it outside, it might start sort of defrosting too much at the sides and becomes a little bit sort of liquidy and slops all about. You don't want that. So the fridge is good, half an hour to an hour. And then what I've got is some boiling water, a spoon or an ice cream scoop, and then serve it however you want. Imagine this with a lovely apple pie. Imagine this just in a bowl or in a cone. Really, really nice. I've got a few little bits here that you can do to make it all nice. Get yourself a hot spoon. Look at that, look at the ball. Come on. So you can see how good this is. Come on. That is my super easy, no churn, strawberry, vanilla and meringue ice cream. Have a try. Oh. It is like strawberries in the most beautiful way, intense, delicious. The ripple is like so nice through the rich vanilla ice cream. The cream's so gorgeous, but that condensed milk gives it a sort of slightly naughty, old school retro twist. So if you want this recipe and loads more recipes, simply go to jamieoliver.com and it's all there. Videos, hacks, recipes galore, and it's all free. What are you waiting for?
My friends and family are coming over for the ultimate picnic. And for dessert, a dreamy light tangerine drizzle cake.
It's a play on the classic lemon drizzle cake, but you can do it with tangerines, oranges, grapefruit. So I've got a pack of butter, 250 grams, that goes in. Then I'm gonna go in with 250 grams of self-raising flour. Then I'm gonna go in with 250 grams of honey. And this honey is from my bees, so I'm very excited to use it. I'm then gonna add 200 grams of ground almonds, a nice pinch of salt, and then we're gonna go in with 1 tablespoon of vanilla paste. It's extract. And I'm gonna put the zest of 2 tangerines into this. And then once you've zested that, I'll just put this tangerine aside because we'll use the actual fruit later when we garnish this gorgeous cake. The only ingredient I've got to add now is my eggs. So 6 large organic eggs go in. All you have to do now is whack it on. And then sometimes I just give it a little wipe round the sides. Done. Okay, so before we put it into our bundt tin, that little remnants of butter from my butter pack, just get that or olive oil around the outside of the dish. So in our bundt now, just pour it in. The vanilla, the zest smells amazing. Now it goes in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit, and it will cook for about 30 to 35 minutes. So probably the most important part maybe is the drizzle. You know, if you're having a lemon drizzle cake, what's the best bit? The drizzle. So I've got 100 grams of icing sugar here. I'm just gonna mix in some tangerine juice. Let's put a half in and see how well we go, because you'd be amazed how little we need. Let's just stir that in. And actually, this cake does not work without this on top. Really, really nice. And that will be my portable topping. Delicious. So I've got my little kit here. Slices, zest, the icing. Check that out. So the cake has had just over 30 minutes and it's looking very, very nice. The smells are amazing. Look at that. Because look, what's really nice is it's golden, it's soft. So let that cool down for about half an hour and then we can put it back in the tin and the tin will protect it when we're transporting it around and all that stuff. It's gonna be amazing. Happy days. Well done, girl.
That is absolutely gorgeous.
So nice. It's lovely to see you. We are going to make the most amazing dessert. We're going to do a tarte tatin. You will not believe that we can do this so quickly and so beautifully with 5 ingredients.
You'll need mixed juicy plums, ground cinnamon, maple syrup, or butter puff pastry, and vanilla ice cream.
Inspired by Canada, right? Maple syrup, cinnamon, beautiful seasonal plums. So it starts here with pre-bought all butter puff pastry. It's many layers of pastry and butter and pastry and butter. So much care and love goes into making this. It's an amazing thing for sweet or savoury items. So there's our pastry already done. Now, we're going to get this going so quickly you will not believe.
Use a 26cm non-stick oven-proof frying pan.
Let's get it on a high heat and let's get our lovely plums. 600 grams. You can use these or represent whatever is fantastic and in season, right? Peaches, apricots. I've even done it with rhubarb, really nice. So just run the knife around, twist it, just get that little stone, pull it out, put the fruit straight into the pan. I'm just gonna add a splash of water, a couple of tablespoons, just to soften up the plums a little bit. Little shake up. And then the maple syrup. Liquid heaven. I mean, what is lovelier the maple syrup. 120 millilitres goes into the pan. Give it a little chivvy around, bring it to the boil, and now it's spice time. So we're going to use a little level teaspoon of cinnamon. You've got to go subtle on this stuff, though. Just a level teaspoon goes in, sprinkle it in from a height. It smells incredible, and that's it. It's pretty much done. All I want to do now is let's get the puff pastry, turn it out, and I'll put it straight onto the pan. No mucking about. Straight in like that. And then we can pull in the pastry. Right, almost push the fruit into the middle.
Don't use your fingers at home. Use wooden spoons.
So really push your pastry into the sides. And then you can see here the little bits of maple syrup and fruit juices getting in there. And that sort of jammy, juicy part will really caramelise on that edge of the puff pastry. It'll be the most beautiful bit. So in the oven it goes. I like to put it in the bottom of the oven for 15 to 20 minutes at 220 degrees Celsius or 425 Fahrenheit, and it'll be golden, crisp, it'll be jammy and caramelised around the edge, the fruit will be beautiful. What I would suggest you do now is get some nice quality vanilla ice cream, either in the fridge or at room temperature, and by the time that's ready, that'll be perfectly scoopable.
Check your pud after 1/4 of an hour. That's all it takes to puff your pastry to perfection.
It looks amazing. Just have a little look at it as it is, blipping away, caught, gnarly, steaming. But if we let it cool down, it's gonna stick to the pan. So we need to turn it out quick. So to do this, you wanna be a little bit careful because, you know, caramel's hot, sleeves down. Put something like a platter or a board on top of our beautiful tatin. And with confidence, grab the pan, nice and safely, grab the board and do a nice little twist. 1, 2, 3.
Be extra careful. Make sure you've got a firm grip and flip.
The colours are phenomenal. Get all of the caramel out of the pan. Look at that. The fruit, the juice, the caramel, you know, the cinnamon's there, the maple syrup. Come on! Let's portion some up. So you're gonna get 6 out of this. So a nice generous wodge. Come on, look at that. It's so beautiful. So over to the plate. And then vanilla ice cream, an absolute must with this. And where you've cut that beautiful portion, just get some juice in and just put that over the top. And if you've got good cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil, a tiny, tiny little drizzle over the vanilla ice cream. It's amazing. Enough talking. Time to tuck in. Want to get a bit of everything. What I love is that where it kind of gets burnt and caught around the edges, they're my favourite bits. What a delicious, delicious and very beautiful dessert that is. 5 ingredients, very simple.
My ridiculously easy plum tart tatin. A pleasure to cook and a joy to share.
I'm going to show you how to make the most delicious crumble pie. It's not quite a pie or a crumble, it's both. And I'm going to serve that with vanilla ice cream and it's going to be delicious. Let's start with some tinned pears. They're really, really good. They're picked at their best. They're processed really proficiently. They're beautifully trimmed up and peeled. They've done all the hard work for you. So what I'm going to do is get a nice little casserole pot, put it on a medium-high heat. I'm going to put my hands over the pear and just pour in that liquor. So that's just pure juice. So what we can do is just bring this to the boil and reduce it and get it down to a syrup which will be a natural sugar syrup. Now, frozen fruit. I've got 2 bags of Black Forest mix. So in here, we've got the sour cherries, blackberries, sweet cherries, even blueberries and black currants. Brilliant. If you look in here, can you see the bubbles have come up already? If we reduce that by half, we're going to concentrate those natural sugars and it will give you a kind of syrup, which is really, really nice. Now, I want to get some flavour in there. I'm going to use some vanilla. So 1 teaspoon of vanilla paste. Now, one of the flavours that I'm using is orange, and you don't always have to use the juice. The zest is amazing. So what I do is I use one of these fine graters, or if you've got a box grater, use the little fine side. And I just want to use like 1/4 of an orange, just like that. And that little bit of zest is more than enough to really lift this whole story. So you can see this syrup has already thickened. Can you see that? And so now in with those quarters of pear, and then in with this pack of frozen fruit. So that's 2 500-gram bags. I'm going to go in with 150 grams of sugar. You could swap out the sugar for honey. I'd go slightly less, maybe 100 grams, because it's a little bit sweeter by weight. So mix in that sugar, and we'll cook that down on like a medium heat for 5 minutes, just to mix all those beautiful flavors up. And that is the perfect amount of time for making homemade pastry. It's really simple. If you've never done it before, come with me on this little journey. So clean hands. I've got 200 grams of butter, beautiful unsalted butter. I'm just going to put a cloth down there because it's wobbling. What I want to do is add twice the amount of flour by weight. So 200 butter, 400 plain flour. Okay, and that is the ratio that gives you perfection every single time. Salt it for seasoning. I'm also going to put a little orange zest in it as well. So maybe half of an orange zest goes in. Will it make a difference? Yes. But also a little icing sugar. So 75 grams of icing sugar as well goes in. And then we're going to use our fingers and thumbs to just basically squash this butter and just rub it in like that. So use your thumb and forefinger to just pinch and push the butter into little flakes. It's a nice little relaxing job just to do for a few minutes while the fruit does its thing. Look at those colours. But look, one of the problems with fruit-based desserts is they can let off too much liquid and become a little bit, watery, I guess. So we can control that in 2 ways. One, by cooking it down a little bit, as we are. Have a little look at this. So we're evaporating off some of that excess liquid. The other way, which is brilliant, is to use 30 grams or 2 heaped tablespoons of corn flour. It's going to thicken this up, and when your tart, once it's cooked, gets to room temperature, it kind of just solidifies a little bit, and then it will control that liquidiness. So let that simmer for just a couple of minutes while I'll finish this pastry. We'll take just a handful of this topping. So make a little well in the middle. Then I'm going to add into here 1 lovely large free-range egg. And then I'm going to use this second egg in 2 ways. The first way, I'm going to put the egg whites in here. That is just to glaze the side of the beautiful tart shell. And then this yolk will go in here. So it's 1 egg, 1 yolk. And then I'm just going to use my hand now just to mix it up, and it will come together to make a lovely pastry. So you want it to kind of come together as a dough by kind of moving, sort of scrunching and patting it together. Why? Because we want it to be short. Short means crumbly, crumbly means delicate, delicate means delicious, right? So the more you work it, the harder it will get. So in no time at all, look what we got. Some lovely homemade pastry and our lovely crumbly topping. This will go in the fridge now for half an hour, just to chill out, firm up. Then I've got a great little hack on how you can line a pastry mold really easily. And then look, have a look at this. This is thickened up beautifully. So I'll turn the heat off, let that cool down. So I'll come back in half an hour and let's make this beautiful crumble pie. So we've had a little time to cool down the filling and chill out the pastry. Look, normally with pastry you would roll it out. There are some techniques where you slice it and then kind of push it together. This one is a slightly different method. Your hard, firmed up pastry, I'm just going to grate it just like cheddar cheese, right, on the coarse grater. And all that worry about, are you doing it perfectly, have gone, because it's a very rustic sort of base. Any worries about tears or cuts? Well, that's not a problem, because the whole thing is just going to get sort of pushed like that together. So grate away. I want it to be about 1/2 centimetre thick. Pushing this in to be one homogeneous little layer. So I'll grate some now on the side to actually push up the sides. So have a little look. Just grab a little wodge and just squeeze it and push it. What I like about this method is if you do it really well, that's great. And if you do it quite badly, it's great. And if it gets more people to try and make their own pastries and desserts, I think that's a really good thing. So last bit's going in, run your fingers around, but that's basically it. Now, we're not going to bake this blind, so that's kind of one stage that you don't have to do for a normal tart. What I'm gonna do is get this cooled filling, and I'm gonna put that inside. Look at the color, just extraordinary. Look at that, so get your juice in there. With this crumble topping, just kind of grab some and just kind of scrunch it up a little bit and then kind of break it into those nice crumbly chunks. Having the crumble topping just lets it breathe a little bit and it starts to blip away and it's just joyful. Look at that, gorgeous. So the only thing I'm gonna do now is just take a little bit of that egg white and just run the brush around that, just so you get a nice kind of shine to it. So this is gonna go in the oven now for 45 minutes. And I'm gonna specifically put it at the bottom of the oven. Why? So we get maximum heat to the base of this tart mold. So we get crispy bum, crispy side, and perfectly cooked tart. In an oven which has been set to 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit. That heat from the bottom of the oven will cook the base of the pastry case, the sides, the fruit will start blipping away, the crumble will be golden. It's gonna be a thing of joy with a nice dollop of vanilla ice cream.
While that's cooking, please click the like button and give us some love. And don't forget to subscribe. Oh, and remember to turn on that notification bell so you know what's happening. Now, back to the recipe.
So, it's had 45 minutes. It smells amazing. It looks beautiful. Look at that. Oh, just blipping away. It's like fruity lava with that crumble topping. If you let this cool down for like 2 hours to come to room temperature, it will just firm up and it will slice beautifully. And even if you want to put it in the fridge as well, it will firm up even more. So I'll let that cool down and then I'll serve that with a nice bit of vanilla ice cream and it will be a beautiful thing. Okay, so you can see now it's cooled down. It's kind of just shrinked up a little bit. It looks beautiful. A nice little trick for getting it out of its mold. Real simple one. Get a little bowl, turn it on its back, and then just equally place this in the middle. And if you're lucky, nothing happens. But if you agitate it, see, I knew it would come. So look, there is your lovely tart. You can see by grating the pastry, you do get a different texture. I've got a little jug of boiling water, ice cream scoop. I've got some ice cream out of the freezer and just popped it into the fridge just for like 20 minutes. So let's get in there. As usual, sharp knife. You can kind of try and support the side so it doesn't break too much. It doesn't matter if it does. Look at that. Oh. Welcome to the wonderful world of a crumble pie. And that on a plate with a nice little dollop of ice cream. Let's have a try. Exciting. Making your own pastry makes such a difference to the texture. It's shorter, it's crumblier, just such a joy. Guys, please make this. If you've never made pastry, have a go. So simple, and that method gives you such a wonderful rustic finish and delicious to eat. Enjoy, take care. Hi guys, hope you're well. So today we're gonna make a beautiful homemade crumble 3 ways. Beautiful stewed fruit with a crunchy, crispy topping. It's an easy go-to dessert to make people very, very happy. What I wanna do is start off really basic on the filling and then really basic on the topping and then just change it up 3 times to get you all ready to go. So first up, let's start with the humblest crumble ever, the Great British Apple Crumble. Now I grew up with just brownie apple crumbles, delicious. But what we want to do to achieve the most appley, delicious flavour and texture is actually mix it up using different eating apples. So we've got this lovely mixture, some big chunks, some little chunks. You want to get a nice splash of water in with the apples, pan on the heat, and then I'm going to add 150 grams of sugar. Just a few strokes of lemon zest, really, really nice. So a little lid on top, give that 5, 6, 7 minutes, and then when it's a little bit tender, then we'll get the crumble topping on top and get it in the oven. So when it comes to the beautiful crumble topping, it's a really simple recipe. Half fat, to flour. I'm gonna use a kilo of plain flour, and then we're gonna use half as much butter, so 500 grams. Why am I making so much? So I can bag up the rest and put it in the freezer, and then a month later, 2 months later, you see some fruit, bang it together, crumble on top, in the oven, and you've done a dessert in no time at all. Bring this together, and then you want about 400 to 500 grams of sugar. That's golden caster sugar. You could just take a little bit of brown sugar. It gives it like a crunch. Some muscovado sugar. It's a little bit licoricey. You can do one, you can do a mix. You could even put a bit of honey in. So mix that up, add some vanilla. So you could use vanilla pods or paste. That absolutely smells amazing now. So that's your basic, standard, easy peasy crumble topping. And there you go. So I've got my apple here, sprinkle it on top. Beautiful. So in the oven it goes at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit, for about half an hour until golden and blipping and delicious. That's your basic apple crumble. Let's take it up a notch. Let's do a second version, fruit combo. We shouldn't just think that fresh fruit is the only way. Frozen fruit is a game changer. What I've got here is a berries and blackcurrant mix. Whack a gas hob on, put a little bit of water in a pan, add some sugar, just about 100 grams, and then straight in with the fruit. It's about a kilo, just half an orange in there. Let's get a lid on, bring it to the boil. Now, as far as this basic crumble topping's concerned, could we do anything to it to sort of inflict even more deliciousness? And the answer, I think, is yes. These are flaked almonds. Crunch them up like that. I absolutely love them. Let's have a look in here. Smells incredible. And now we've got a beautiful bramble crumble with an almond and vanilla topping. Yes. Right, so this goes in the oven half an hour again until golden and crisp. And then I can show you potentially my favorite crumble. And this is a stone fruit crumble. Have a little look at this. So I'll show you what I've done. I've just got beautiful stone fruit like plums, nectarines, peaches, apricots you could use, any combination you like. Take the stone out, put it in halves or quarters. I've sweetened this with two things. One is some honey, beautiful. And two, I just got some strawberries and grated it. And it's a really nice natural way to sweeten. And that roasting for about 20 minutes, it just makes it jammy and intense and delicious. And the other thing I love, love, love to do is beautiful porridge oats. So a nice handful in like that. Just use your hands. Porridge oats give it an incredible flavor, a lovely texture, and I absolutely love it. So this goes back in the oven for about 20 minutes, half an hour, until golden and delicious. Let's let these cook, and when they're all cooked up, I'll show you what to do later. So it's that time where the 3 crumbles are ready. Beautiful, beautiful crumbles. Look at them, very exciting. Let's go in with our apple first. Come on, very pleasing. I'm gonna go for classic custard. Then we're gonna go for this beautiful brambles. Look at that, look at the color, come on. The smell is something else, and I love it when the ice cream starts to melt. Yes. And last but not least, we're gonna go for the roasted stone fruit crumble. Beautiful, such amazing, intense flavors. Now I get to have 3 mouthfuls of 3 crumbles. Humble apple crumble. Memories of school dinners, good ones. Good school dinners, Mrs. Gilby, love you, amazing. And then we got the frozen fruit to be able to go into a freezer and grab some topping and some fruit and knock out something that's homely and like a little hug. This is what we need in life, I think. So, I love that. So good, completely different. Last but not least, the roasted fruit crumble. You know, it kind of feels a bit more grown up, a bit more adulty, I suppose, and what a wonderful way to finish a meal. I might have to start from the beginning again. I'm not sure if I said everything correctly. I think it's just an amazing dessert that makes me very happy, and I hope you enjoy it too. So until next time, take care. Hello, all you lovely people. I've got a beautiful recipe for you. This is the most incredible rhubarb and custard tart. It's soft, gooey, gorgeous. It's got crumbly homemade pastry. It is an amazing thing that you can make with your friends and family. So what I'm gonna do is split it up into the 3 parts. We've got the pastry, we've got a custard, and we've got a beautiful rhubarb and apple compote, okay? We're gonna make it look amazing. Let me show you how to make the beautiful compote of rhubarb and apples. It's a great combination. So first up, this is forced rhubarb. And I'm gonna take the floury end off, but the beautiful stalks, that's the rhubarb, is amazing. There you go. All the leaves have gone. We'll compost this. We definitely don't want to eat this. We've got a kilo of this lovely rhubarb that's been washed. Just cut it up into like chunks about 3 centimeters in length. Get yourself a nice large pan, and on a high heat, medium high heat, I will add the rhubarb. So to go with this, I'm going to add some apples. So I've got 3 beautiful eating apples, about 500 grams, and I'm going to peel them. So using eating apples is really nice. They've got good texture. Each different type of eating apple has completely different flavour and texture. You need 500 grams. So peel them, quarter them, and then get rid of the core, cut them into 3 centimetre, then just cut them in half like that, big chunks. Stir in the apple like that. You can hear the heat happening now. 125 grams of sugar goes in, and then a little swig of water. Loads of liquid will come out of the rhubarb and the apple. It smells amazing. So I'm going to turn that down just a little bit, so it's just above medium. 15 minutes of cooking until tender. So for the custard, I want to go old school. In a pan here, it's not on the heat yet, we're going to go in with 500 mils of lovely milk. Grab yourself a tablespoon, not a dessert spoon, and we're going to go in with a level tablespoon of the custard powder. Do that 3 times, so 45 grams of custard powder. Just whisk in this lovely powder. Now I can put the temperature on. So into there, I'm going to add like 2 or 3 tablespoons of golden caster sugar and a good teaspoon or 2 of vanilla, right? So do it as much as you like. I'm going to put 2 teaspoons in. Look at that. Just whisk that up. So in no time at all, as that milk comes up to a simmer, can you see how it's thickened? So as this kind of just cooks out for a minute or 2, have a look at this. Look, it's getting really bubbly. Look at the colour. Look at the colour. I'm taking the lid off because it's getting excited in there. So into this baked blind pastry tart. So you can see it's steaming now. That will cool down for 20 minutes, and naturally a skin will form on the top of that custard. So this has had 15 minutes. Turn it off. And we're going to pour it into that colander. Now, there's a reason that I do this, right? You've got the most incredible natural juice that comes out of this compote, okay? Look underneath and look at that beauty. That is extraordinary, right? So what's brilliant about this little method is gravity and the natural kind of filtering of this compote gives you 2 things. It gives you the perfect consistency to go on that custard, and then you get this incredible, natural, almost cordial that we can just boil up a little bit until it's thick, and you can drizzle it over your tart. So I'm going to let that cool down, and let that cool down, and just for 1 minute, let that kind of reduce and thicken, and then I'll show you what to do next. So I've just been rolling out the ball of pastry. So this is about the thickness of a £1 coin. The custard has cooled down, and you can see that natural skin. It's quite robust, okay? So now I'm going to put our amazing compote straight in the middle, and then just use that spoon to flatten it out. Beautiful. So what I want to do now is get this beautiful pie top on here. I need a little bit of glue, so obviously we're going to use egg wash. So I've just beaten up 1 egg here. Just go around the little edge here. Super simple. What I'm going to do now is go to the edge of our pastry and put it around your rolling pin, and then just roll up the whole thing, just like this. And then very simply, then unroll it over the top like that. And then you use this rolling pin again, just to go around the edge. It's quite annoyingly satisfying to take or kind of crimp off the pastry. Really simple, really easy. And then we can use this pastry here to make some decorations, right? So we're going to dress this up now, and this is all optional extra stuff, right? Just take some almonds, flaked almonds, right? And a brilliant little tip is if you put some icing sugar, just a teaspoon or 2, right? Don't need much, and a little bit of water, just a few drips of water, right? You mix it up like this, and it goes a little bit claggy. And if you sprinkle this over the top like this, when that bakes, these almonds will be the best almonds you've ever had. Then, have a look at this. I've got ahead of the game. How amazing they are, right? So no talent has made this at all. I've cheated. So if you go online, you can get these little marzipan or pastry cutters. They are 2 a penny. They are cheap as chips. Let's have some fun with this. So I'm going to take a big one like this, go in, you push down, and then you must press the top bit like that. Then it comes off like that, and you just prise it away. And once you've got that, then we can lay this on our beautiful tart. Look at that. So we can do that with a few different shapes, and then I'll use the rest of these just to finish off this beautiful tart, and it just makes your rustic tart just look a little bit more special. Last but not least, a little bit more of the egg wash. You can give it a last little pinch of sugar. That's it, job's done. I'm now going to put this in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit, for about 40 to 45 minutes until golden and gorgeous. You're going to love it. So there you go. That is our incredible rhubarb and custard tart. It's gone gorgeous and golden. Look at the little almonds here. They've just kind of frosted in the most beautiful way. So look, let's just get into it because I want to show you exactly what's going on the inside. You ready? Look at that. Crispy pastry, gorgeous topping, the almonds, the rhubarb, the custard. Right, let's plate this up. It's going to be really special. Take some of that beautiful liquor, the syrup from the rhubarb, and just give it a little drizzle on the top. Enough yapping, time to eat. Amazing. So there you go, guys. An absolute classic flavor combination. Beautiful crumbly homemade pastry. If you want the full recipe, then go and check it out on my Jum app. Enjoy. So today is a very, very special day. It's little baby Petal's birthday. She's 11 years old. I haven't got everything that I would normally have to do a birthday cake, but the fundamentals are here. It's an amazing chocolate cake that is so simple, so reliable, so delicious. Now let's just start the story. I've got some golden caster sugar here. I only had 130 grams. I've literally run out of sugar, and then I made it up with 70 grams of icing sugar. So it doesn't matter if you go from white sugar, golden sugar, icing sugar, it's all good, guys. So 200 grams of that. Then I've got 200 grams of butter going straight in. In this pan, I've got an inch of water, and I'm bringing it to a simmer. Just put a bowl on top of that. Don't let it touch the water. And we're going to melt the butter, the sugar, and the chocolate. Normally I would say 70% cocoa solids, but guys, 200 grams of the best chocolate you can get your hands on. Although I kind of got a feeling that there's a fair amount of chocolate in the cupboards around the country. So let this melt for about 5 or so minutes. Give it a stir every now and again. It's going to be amazing. While that's doing its thing, I have a little heart-shaped mould. I want to show you how you can make it so that the sponge does not stick to the tin. Now you can get some greaseproof paper. I haven't got any. That little bit of leftover butter, just rub that generously around the edge. A tablespoon of flour into this, knock it around, and you see how it's sticking to the butter. And that will protect your cake. Give it a tap out. So that is ready and raring to go. The next stage, we're going to add to this bowl the chocolate. So have a look at that. The butter, the chocolate and the sugar has all melted. All of that chocolate goes in, every last bit. Use a spatula for this, guys. So after a couple of minutes, this chocolate mix would have cooled down a nice little bit. We're going to add 6 eggs. Crack those in. And then we'll go from a spatula to a whisk. So I'm going to stand up for this. It's now going to do beautiful things, right? We'll whisk in that first egg, and then we'll crack in the second. Next one. Wow. Last but not least, egg number 6. That's the basis for the most amazing chocolate cake. What we can do at this stage is flavour it. So I'm going to add in 2 teaspoons of vanilla paste or extract. And then I'm thinking chocolate orange. All you need, literally all you need, is 2 or 3 little gratings of orange. To give it the structure, I've got 200 grams of self-raising gluten-free flour. If you don't need to be gluten-free, just use the regular self-raising flour. For now, Petal is gluten sensitive. I'll sift that in. I'm just going to now fold this flour into the mix. Chocolatey gorgeousness. And I'm going to pour this into our mould. We will bake that for about 50 minutes at 160 degrees Celsius. And then I'll show you what to do next.
So I now have a new cameraman, and that's little Buddy. Come around here, Buds. Mum's gone to do some jobs. River's running around, so it could go into chaos now. But the buttercream part of this recipe is very, very simple. So bro, back to your posts. So I have melted, in the same fashion, over a little water bath, 200 grams of chocolate again. Just get right, be really curious, Buddy. I've just used any chocolate I can get my hand on. Sit at the end if you want. Come sit here. Yes.
Dad, can I have a little bit of lick?
Yeah, you can have a lick in a second. 200 grams of icing sugar. Then we're going to go in with our chocolate here.
Dad, can I have a lick of chocolate?
Are you going to be a good boy? Be a good boy, I know. I'm going to go in with 200 grams of butter. I was going to, yeah, Buddy's so jealous right now.
I'll have the bowl.
No, that's all I've got, that's all I've
Can I
got.
have the bowl?
You can have the bowl. There you go, that's your bowl. You can have that later. So I need actually a spatula, but that's got spit all over
I'm just
it.
going to get some. Let's go get
Can I have a spatula? River
Where should I sit?
is like chaos. So now what we're going to do is just mix it all together.
I want chocolate.
No, there's a camera, darling. There's a camera.
I got chocolate for you.
A little pinch of salt. Okay, so guys, that is the buttercream. Yes. Guys, come on. Just let it cool down. Once it's got to room temperature, in about an hour's time, I'll show you how to fill it and dress it. So this is all very exciting. The cake has now cooled down, and sometimes it kind of souffles in the oven and then it sags. You can see it's done that now. Please do not worry about that at all, okay? You can do one of two things. Go with it and just fill that gap, no trouble at all. I'm going to do that. Or you can just trim it off. So we're going to put that on our platter. Here we have our lovely buttercream. Look at that. And almost butter it will be amazing. Look, put some raspberries in there. Cover up 1,000 sins. Do you think it looks like a heart, Buddy?
Oh yeah, it looks like a heart.
Let's try and get birthday right. Put that chocolate up to your side. Get a flat knife and just drag it towards you. All the little folds. So Jules, we're done.
That is so. That is
You like?
amazing. Yes, you can go mad.
So there you go. Lovely birthday cake. Breathe. What do you reckon, pets?
It's really good.
You like
It's
it?
so nice.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a classic French dessert now. Couldn't come here and not do it. Tarte tatin, invented by the Tatin sisters. Great local cooks from about 100 miles away from here in the late 18th century. There's a few stories about how it came to be, but the long and short of it is, one day, one of the sisters was overworked, stressed. She was caramelizing some apples, and apparently it was burning. So she put some pastry on top of it, whacked it in the oven to finish cooking, turned it out, served it. The whole thing was a great, great success. And that was the birth of the tarte tatin. And the exciting thing is, probably half the mistakes ever made in the kitchen are successes. First of all, get yourself some really nice eating apples. We've got 5 apples here. Remove the core. Then what I want is 100 grams of sugar. Then you want about 100 millilitres of Calvados. Heat that up in a pan. I quite like the idea of using some vanilla. Just run the knife down the middle of the vanilla pod. There we go. Already the vanilla and the Calvados smells good. I'm just going to put the apples in now, and then also a good knob of butter. And that's obviously going to turn the straight caramel almost into a sort of butterscotch, toffee-like consistency. Never ever touch caramel because it's really, really hot. Apples and caramel, you know, toffee apples, it's one of the nicest things in the world. But I don't really want you just to stop at that. Pears, peaches, apricots, and you can really use your imagination. Puff pastry. Everyone over here in France uses these packs that you get, and it's all pre-rolled out perfectly. Can you believe that? Probably for tarte tatin. So this you can actually get back home as well. It's really good. Puff pastry is obviously the millefeuille, the many, many layers of pastry and butter. So when it cooks, it's going to expand like that, right over the top, and then almost tuck it in very quickly, like you're tucking your little bambino in bed. And then that is going to be beautiful. I'm going to cook that for around 20 to 25 minutes at around about 190 degrees Celsius, 350, 360 Fahrenheit. And when that's cooked, It'll be crisp and golden. You see what that's gonna look like. It's gonna be great. Look at that. Okay, so this has had about 20 minutes, and when you take it out of the oven, you pretty much carefully and quickly got to turn it out, because when that caramel sets hard, it will be like glue. The best way to do it is to put your plate over and just confidently, all in one, 1, 2, 3, and there you go. Okay, so to serve this, what I want to do is get some ice cream, put it in the fridge, let it get to kind of like a scoopable texture, get some Armagnac, some hot water and some prunes, boil it up and puree it, right? And then just ripple that together. Just made this beautiful prune Armagnac ice cream. Look at that. Armagnac and prunes are massive in this area. It's a big classic. I love the way it kind of goes down all the little gullies, straight through. There we go. Take it off. So hats off to the Tatin sisters for that brilliant mistake they made over 100 years ago.